So today at work, my boss's son came in and told me that one of the women that works at their office, their her nephew died of the coronavirus. He was like, I think he said 33 years old. Because he couldn't breathe, and then he went in, and then then he died. So it makes you think, all right, I mean, there's really only two ways of looking at it. Is that Best Buy? Wow, Best Buy is even shut down. Well, there's two ways of looking at it. It's real, and we're all gonna die, or it's not real, and anybody that does die, they will just attach, yes, it was the coronavirus. You know, I'm leaning more towards that, because everything that I've seen for these past 3 years, I don't believe it. I don't have to believe it. Nobody is making me believe anything, except for, my own worst enemy, my evil self, would try to instill fear into myself if I listen to what everything else is being said outside. But either way, I mean, the point is, it's going to hit home with people, because if somebody dies, the virus is going to be attached to their name. When the elite run the entire system, the world, everything, the hospitals, the schooling systems, I mean everything. When you put up in the school system, you show the globe, how it spins on a tilt, on a 66-degree tilt, and you show that you show that on the other chart you got the monkeys, and then it shows like man evolved from monkeys, and it's their system, it's what they want you to believe. When they run the hospitals, and I said this already, if I was someone that was running the entire world system and I wanted people to believe the lie, people die every day. You don't know them. You don't know the people that die every day when you're working in the hospital. If you're a nurse or a doctor, you're not the one that does the autopsy. You're the one that reads the piece of paper that they hand you that tells you the results of whatever it is. To be the mastermind above everything, it's not hard to believe that when someone is in charge and they have an agenda and they need to push it, they're at the top of the pyramid. Everything else trickles down. Everybody else does what the pyramid wants them to do, or else they don't have a job. So either way, you're going to hear about these things. Even people, because there's people that are on Facebook, there's people that are on YouTube, and again, Facebook to me is more, I don't have all friends that I know, but I have like 300, and I'd say about at least half of them I actually know or have heard of them through my brothers or my sisters or anybody in family throughout the time that I grew up in Philly. I know them. But there's other people, and there's other people too that have seen and heard that people have the virus and that people have died from the virus. If you get the test done, is it that hard to believe? The whole world is nothing but liars. right? The whole system, everything, it's all a lie. Is that something that's hard to believe, that when you go in with the flu and you get tested, you voluntarily get the swab, and then they come back and tell you have the virus when you don't? Is that hard to believe? Here's how I'm going to get people to believe me. When Donald Trump croaks from the coronavirus, when he dies from the coronavirus, but then he comes back to life, or he's just about on his deathbed for 3 days, and then all of a sudden the miracle drug that they gave him wakes him up, and then he's like better and healthier than ever before. When that happens that way, how are you going to believe anything else that they've been telling you? The hardest thing for people to believe is that the world that's being ran by the elite can actually collaborate and have so many people involved. Well, it's true. These so many people involved are the ones that are the elitist, and their children's children and their cousins and everybody that's connected together. They're all involved. People die all the time. People die every day. And the one thing I never liked, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with having a funeral. I don't agree with having open caskets. When somebody dies, I want to remember them how I seen them last, not in a box, cold, stiff, and square. Because when people die, they turn square, because they flatten out and they turn back into a rock, a stone cold, hard rock. It's not how you really want to remember people. That's why I say when people are, it's like when people are suffering and they're going to die, but it's a matter of time. Why not just allow them to make the decision to just have an injection and then pass away? That way you see them for the last time. You say your goodbyes. Like, you literally say your goodbye to the person. Because people die anyway. Suddenly, random, accidental, on purpose. You never get a chance to say goodbye. And then they take them and then they put them in a casket, and then you see them a week later and they're stiff, cold, in a square box, molding to the box, and that's how you remember them. Because I remember, well, I went to 3 funerals that I can remember, but it was, one of them was my cousin. He shot himself in his head. He had an open casket, and they have the makeup, and you see that they did the makeup there because the back of his head was blown out. It's just not, it just doesn't look like him. And both of my grandmoms, my dad's side died when I was a teenager, I believe. And then my butchie, my mom's mom, she was the meanest damn Luciferian on planet Earth. The meanest. I mean, she did not crack a smile. She was just mean. I did not like living there in 1982 because I remember seeing the penny on the TV guide, and I was 6 years old. I remember at that time, right, because I've always had a breathing problem. I remember walking into, like, and just roaming the streets by myself, walking by a park, and you know them little wishy things that you're supposed to pick them up and make a little. Well, I wished that this is what I wish. I said, I wish that I would stop going like this. As a 6-year-old kid. And the symptoms for a coronavirus is lacking of breathing first. I guess I was born with it. I don't know. Maybe it's asthma or something. Don't know what it is, but I've always had that issue. But I have learned that the less I eat, the flatter my stomach is without food in it, the better I can breathe. That's just a fact. And I've learned that over doing the fasting often. But I'm always gasping for air anyway. It's just the way it is. But I remember that as a 6-year-old kid, the 1982 penny, at my grandmom's house, because we moved from Florida to Philly with my mom and my 2 brothers, and I don't remember my sisters. I don't have much of a memory, but we all lived there, and she would always beat my older brother with a bat if she could. And then my middle brother, Mike, well, he was the goody two-shoe, even though he was like Satan, but he knew how to play my grandmom, and he was the favorite. Oh man, and I just kind of minded my own business. I tried to just stay as quiet as possible. She would always feed us this soup that I couldn't stand, and she would make us eat all of it, or else we weren't getting up from the table. She died at 88 years old. That's somewhere around where I'll live until I'm about 88-ish, because half of my life is to the point now, 43, 44 in June 28th. And then I got the rest half of my life to live the way that things were intended to live as human beings from the beginning. So we just all get to start over. Christopher Green is so damn fake. His laugh, oh man. And the way that he's telling you that this is going to be like a 10-year locked in your house, just deal with it type thing. I mean, I understand what he's doing, but it still makes me sick. Because I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the fear porn being pushed. So the bottom line is, if you believe the virus is real, you believe the virus is real. If you're concerned about me wearing a mask and you're around me and you have your mask on, don't be. Because if you have your mask, you're fine, right? I'm the one that can catch the virus. So if I'm walking around with the virus and everybody else has a mask on, I don't need a freaking mask. It's the people that are fearful of catching it. You need the mask. The people that aren't fearful of catching it, they're not going to wear a mask. But I see that even at my work, because of what happened that kind of hit home with them, they're issuing masks. And because my boss's son asked me about it, it's like, where's your mask? I said, I don't believe it. So, I'm not. And then he told me about the woman in the that worked for him, that her nephew died. I'm still not wearing a mask though. I'm not living in fear. If I die, I die. It's just the way it is. If anybody dies, then they die. But I don't think that we should ever have funerals, homes, and open caskets. It's fine to have a little gathering to reminisce about whoever, as they're cremated in a little box. But open caskets, no. It's creepy, and it's eerie, and it's just not. It's not what we were intended to do, is to see dead bodies.